Hey class, this is Norbert Ivazian, and this is my third speech about teaching. The subject that I chose is Morse code. The reason why I picked up this subject, it was because we're in a communication class, and I'm very happy to be able to share something that I like myself. Again, I'm not a pro at it, but I like the topic, I like the subject itself, and I think I could do very well in teaching you guys and try to maybe make a little gain out of this at the end of the speech. I picked up some stuff that I could share with you guys, and also I will go over the history of Morse code, who invented it. I will tell you guys how I was introduced to Morse code myself. And as I said at the end of the speech, I have something prepared that I will tell you guys how we could use it, and we'll go on from there. So, alrighty. Let's see. So one of the Morse code systems was invented in the United States by an American artist and inventor, Samuel Morse, during the 1830s. So Samuel Morse developed an electric telegraph in 1832 all the way through 1835. And then after that, he invented the Morse code with his friend Alfred Vail in 1838. The very first time that Morse code was used, it was in 1844, and the first message that was sent by Morse code's dots and dashes across a long distance traveled from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore on Friday, May 24th, 1844. That gives us a little estimation of it being about 176-7 years old. So it was just it signaled the first time in human history that complex thoughts could be communicated at long distances almost instantaneously. How I was introduced to Morse code was, well, I've been in Boy Scouts for over 15 years now. It's been great being in Boy Scouts because it taught me a lot about communication, discipline, organization, and excuse me. It was taught by one of my leaders themselves when I was younger. So I try to pick up every little word, every little sign or dashes and all that stuff, but it did not fit well during the time because I was so young, going to school and everything. It didn't give me enough time for me to practice it. But many of you might know it, many of you might be even a pro at it, but I'm not a pro at it. I just like the topic. I love communication, and it was a great way for me to introduce this to you guys as well. So Morse code is a method used in telecommunications to encode text characters as standardized sequences of two different signatures called dots and dashes. They basically could be made out of sounds. They could be made out of with lighting, such as flashlight. You could use Morse code in any way you want it. Basically, you could write it out. For example, let's say I'm gonna pull up something for you guys. I'm gonna try to see if I could make a absolute correct form. So for example, you could just write it as, so I'm just gonna write like 3 letters, A, B, and C. I'm so sorry, my dog keeps barking, but, and then, so over here, I'm not quite sure if you could see it. We have A with a dot and a line, well, dash. We have B with a dash, dot, 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 and we have C, dash, dot, dash, dot. So this is the way that we communicate in Morse code. I would say back then it was pretty difficult for many people to communicate without having some other people not hear or know what you're talking about. So trying to keep a secret in a way. So Morse code gave them that opportunity. For example, in battlefields, they would use flashlights to, send a message, such as the letters A, B, and C would go like dot, dash, and then B would go like, let's see, dash, dot, dot, and dot. And for C would be dash, dot, dash, dot. And that is one way for us to communicate in Morse code. If you're playing a game in Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, I don't think Cub Scouts would play that game, but Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts definitely do. A lot of times people mistake Morse code with, what is it called? Just for like fun activity. In fact, this was not only for fun fact activity, it was created for deep conversations. People back then would write so much Morse codes with dots and dashes and everything that they would fill out an entire page and send it out, because that was the way they wanted to communicate. So the enemy or opponent in a game or something along those lines did not read the language or the message that was trying to be delivered to that specific person from a specific person. So, as I said, I used to be in Boy Scouts, not anymore, being an adult, having to take care of family, work, school, and everything. It just did not suit well at the time. But hopefully in the future, I will go back. But there's one thing that I wanted to also share with you guys, was going to camping and everything. We had a lot of games that we would play, such as getting into two groups and sending one group 10 minutes earlier into the field, into the campground, trying to put some notes on the ground with such as feathers, like bird feathers, or things like rock, and we had different signs. That is kind of another topic that I would talk about, but I don't want to mix it all together. But that's a game that we would play in campgrounds with Boy Scouts, and we would definitely be able to communicate with Morse code. So what we would do is we had to basically go ahead and find our people, our guys that were there, and that the group that basically group one that went 10 minutes earlier, to hide somewhere and put some notes on the sides every 15 to 20, no, every 10 feet, they would put some sort of a sign on the side for us to go ahead and find them. So it would be some sort of a flash, like a signal, some sort of a, as I said, some sort of a signal, some sort of a note with Morse code, or some sort of a letter. They would just write it out. There are a lot of ways to use Morse code, and one of them, as I said, was with letters, writing it down. One of them is with flashlight, and the other one would be with whistle. Unfortunately, I do not know where I put my scouting whistle, but this is the one that I found right now, and I'm gonna try to conclude with this little game and basically uh yeah, take you guys to the conclusion. So first off, I'm gonna just try my very best to word it out, spell this in Morse code language, my name, which is Norbert, spelled out as Norbert, and that would go as so that's my name right there. It's kind of like a song, but and also Professor Darla Anderson, I will let's see, I don't know, whistle your name first and last, both together. And if you guys want, you have a flashlight or a whistle at home, give it a try and see how your name sounds like. I would also do some numbers for you guys at the end, but until then, I'm gonna spell out or whistle this out, make the sound of first Darla, and then we're gonna go down to the last name, which is Anderson. Let's see how this sounds like. So that was Darla, and in between every letter, such as being the letter E, which is just a dot, you could just put dot and then wait like a second and then repeat, or not repeat, but go over to the next letter. And for the last name Anderson, it goes like and that is Anderson. So as I mentioned, I will say or put okay, actually, let's see. I'm gonna give you guys, not that I will give you guys, I'm gonna try to code the date, which is, today is 10/28/2020. So it'll go like very funny, but yep. And that concludes my speech for today. I hope that you guys will take this as a way to kind of like, get used to different things, different interesting subjects, and different communicating ways for you to advance your knowledge. And I hope this kind of does become useful. I know we're not going to use it nowadays, but hopefully maybe get in like family gatherings. Thanksgiving is coming up. You guys could use this as a way to make a little toast or something. I don't know. But yep, thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Until then, thank you.